If I play with the timings,
No, this is how dumb you
I'm
are.
super smart,
This
man.
is how dumb he
I'm
is.
the first YouTuber, pound for pound, #1 in the world. Yes, here,
He's getting angry.
Look at me, man.
I'll whoop both your ass on the same night.
It's gonna be a good fight.
Put both the Chavezes in there. I'll whoop senior and junior.
Trash talk, he was talking to your father and all that. And so I was wondering if you felt disrespected or upset about anything that he said in the press conference.
Yes, a little bit disrespect.
At a recent press conference, Jake Paul caused a stir by saying he could beat both Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and his father, Chavez Sr., on the same night. His bold claim upset Chavez Jr., who quickly responded with anger, reminding Jake that he had already become a world champion when Jake was still a kid. The situation became tense fast.
When you were born, I was already a champ.
There's two things you can't beat. There's two things you can't beat. Me and your drug addiction.
Well, Julio, you have had your struggles in recent years.
Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. replied with confidence, saying the people are on his side and want to see him beat Jake Paul. He said fans are tired of Jake's behavior and are ready for someone to stop him.
People say, I like Jake Paul. Oh, I hate Jake Paul. I don't like him. Beat him. Put back him in the internet, YouTube. So I'm still supportive of everybody, man.
You think there's any chance this man can beat you?
Not a shot in hell. There's nothing he does that can offset anything I'm gonna do to him. Not a single thing. Cardio, pace, output, jabs, body work, inside fighting, wherever the fight goes, however the fight goes, he's gonna be outworked in every single round.
In an interview with Ariel Helwani, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. said he felt very disrespected by Jake Paul's comments at the press conference, especially the ones about his father. He explained that while some trash talk is normal to promote a fight, Jake went too far. Julio said he had always shown respect to Jake, but didn't get the same respect back. For him, this wasn't just about building hype. It felt personal.
Try to enter to a real boxing, you know? That's why he started me, because I'm ex-world champion, so he speak too much trash, you know, and try to sell the fight, but I don't like hear that things, you know, like, I don't know, Jake is good for that, you know, for promote fights and these things, but I really want to find out if it's good boxing, for real.
So a lot of people who have fought Jake have tried to sort of, as I said, end Jake Paul, like end all of this. They don't like that he's in boxing. Is that a motivation for you to knock him out so that he says, I don't want to do this anymore, so you could be the one to say you got Jake Paul out of fighting?
Yes, so that's, you know, I'm still thinking that I'm better than Jake Paul, so I think after this fight, maybe Jake continue to fight. I don't know, try to be a best boxer, but I don't think he have skills and everything for win that fight. Yes, I wanna end the Jake Paul career. I wanna end.
What do you think it will say about you at this stage of your career? 39, you've been fighting for so long, 60 fights, all that stuff. If you beat Jake Paul, what will that say about who Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is right now?
I want to put clear that I'm still here.
Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is going into this fight with years of boxing experience and a strong focus on his legacy. Unlike many of Jake Paul's past opponents, Julio is not coming from another sport or making a comeback after a long break. He's a lifelong boxer, trained from a young age. While Jake is known for social media and promotion, Julio stands for old-school boxing with discipline and real training. He sees Jake as an outsider still trying to prove himself. Julio doesn't just want to win. He wants to show the true difference that comes from living the boxing life from the start. For him, it's not about fame. It's about earning real respect in the sport.
For me, like when I lost with Anderson Silva, but I'm out of shape. So these things, like the fight with Silva and a couple other fights, make the UFC fighters or the other people thinking that this guy can beat like a real boxer.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that is not possible, because when you are a real boxer, you train right. It's different, different sport. You in boxing you need to do in point, to win rounds. And UFC, you're only thinking and I don't know, kill the other guy. So it's different. So I'm very excited. I'm training very hard to prove that I'm much better fighter than Jake Paul. So and of course the real.
At a press event, when asked if Jake Paul could ever fight someone like Canelo Alvarez, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. quickly shut down the idea. He said the difference in skill between Jake and Canelo is too big. Julio believes Jake isn't ready to handle a real fight with a top-level boxer, especially someone like Canelo. To him, comparing Jake to Canelo is just internet hype and not based on reality. He feels that such talk is not only unrealistic, but also disrespectful to true professional boxers.
I don't think he has a chance with Canelo.
Obviously, Jake was scheduled to fight Canelo, and then it did fell through. How do you think that fight would have gone? Do you think he would have been in some big trouble?
No, I think Canelo is much better than him, He's not the same level, so that's why I say that my career is different than his career, because I don't think he has a chance with Canelo.
Live, only on DAZN, June 28th. Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
Fellow boxer Rolly Romero has also praised Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.'s experience, saying that Julio has fought more top-level opponents than Jake Paul could even name. In boxing, respect comes from the kind of fighters you've faced, and Julio's career includes championship rounds, tough fights, and real challenges that shaped him. For Julio, this fight is not just another match. It's part of his long boxing journey, something Jake still has to earn. Romero's words highlight the big gap in experience between the two fighters.
He's fighting a legend's son.
Real deals. How do you think he does?
Who's been in the ring with a bunch of other legends. I mean, Chavez fought Canelo. He fought a bunch of people.
People got to see more, People don't want to give it to him. Just coming where he's come from.
Yeah.
But if other boxers co-sign him as a real fighter, that's a good testament. That's a good sign.
Bro, he's fighting Chavez Jr. I don't care. Yeah. Bro, he's fighting a real fighter. He's fighting a legend's son.
Real deals. How do you think he does?
Who's been in the ring with a bunch of other legends. I mean, Chavez fought Canelo. He fought a bunch of people.
But how do you think Jake does in that fight?
What weight's the fight at? Cruiser?
No idea. 65? What?
I don't even know. I don't pay attention to it, to be honest with you.
I don't think Jake Paul can make 65 ever. So.
Nah, hell no. Jake Paul is like a good 220 pounds naturally.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
165.
How tall is he?
Jake Paul trains hard, bro. He's a very intelligent person. You gotta think he's a fucking bimbo. He's very fucking intelligent.
Yeah. He's definitely a beast, and he's definitely a monster with marketing.
No, not even the marketing, bro. He's a very intelligent person.
Yeah. You could tell by what he's doing.
Yeah.
Jake Paul speaks with confidence and often says he's the one bringing attention back to boxing. He feels the old boxing world has become dull, and he's changing things by doing it his own way. His fast rise, even with all the criticism, has become part of who he is. Jake doesn't see the hate as a problem. Instead, he takes it as a sign that he's making an impact. But many people, including Julio, feel that this mindset ignores the true history of boxing, which was built on hard work, real fights, and dedication, not just social media fame.
When you say that, what does that mean to you to protect the sport?
Everyone else is just trying to gatekeep or say that they're doing things for the sport or something is bad for boxing, but I'm the greatest thing to happen to boxing since Muhammad Ali, and there's no even debating that. And what I've done speaks for itself. No other fighter is building gyms, getting boxing gloves into the hands of kids, throwing multiple events a year, donating my whole entire purse back into my own charity when I fought in Puerto Rico, taking women from getting paid $1,000 to 5, 6, 7 million, breaking Netflix records, shutting down the site, 128 million global viewers. The list goes on, and I've done this in only 12 fights, where Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather, Marvin Hagler, like you can name any of these people, fought nobodies for their first 15 to 20 fights, and no one even knew who they were. And so my career has been different, heavily criticized from the start, but that's the mark and the sign of someone who's a disruptor and someone who's changing the game.
Oscar De La Hoya, a boxing legend and promoter, is interested in this fight because it's Jake Paul's first real challenge against an experienced boxer. Julio's background gives the match the kind of seriousness many have been waiting to see from Jake. De La Hoya is excited not just for the show, but because this fight finally puts Jake in a true boxing situation. Facing someone with Julio's record and skills raises the level. It's no longer just about fun or fighting retired athletes. It's a battle between online fame and real boxing roots.
I'm really excited because the only reason I got involved with this is because he's fighting a real fighter now. Julio Cesar Chavez went 12 rounds with Canelo. He is an ex-world champion in boxing. So this is a real legit fight. I'm looking forward to it. I'm obviously questioning what Chavez Jr. will we see. Will he be in great shape? Will he not be in shape? Will he make weight? Will he do a lot of questions behind it? But ultimately, you have to tell yourself, Jake Paul, congratulations. This is the real first legitimate world champion fighter you're fighting.
Some fans and critics say Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is past his prime because of his age, but they forget that he never really left the sport. He hasn't taken long breaks or stopped training. His fitness is still strong, and his skills in the ring are sharper than people think. Unlike Jake Paul's past opponents, who were often from other sports or long retired, Julio still lives and trains like a full-time boxer.
Word on the grapevine is that Jake Paul will be fighting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in his upcoming fight. That is apparently going to be announced very, very soon. Now, this is actually quite an interesting one, really. Jake's going to get a lot of stick for this. It is another retired fighter. However, this is a guy that realistically has only been retired for about 4 years. He also isn't a 60-year-old Mike Tyson. Chavez Jr. is only 39 years old. And the last notable fight, realistically, for Chavez Jr. was Danny Jacobs. That was back at the back end of 2019. So you could say that realistically, the guy hasn't been fighting top competitors for about 5.5 years or so. The thing that does worry me just a little bit is that Chavez Jr. was pretty much fighting at middleweight during his, let's say, prime. And no doubt that this fight will be at cruiserweight, if not heavyweight. So good on Jake Paul for fighting someone who is semi-recently retired this time, and is actually a boxer and not an MMA fighter. But again, shame on Jake Paul for fighting someone who is considerably smaller and will likely want them to balloon up to cruiserweight. Maybe even heavyweight if Jake's sticking at this thing of he's a heavyweight now. Let me know in the comments, will you watch this if it's on Netflix and it doesn't cost any more money like the Mike Tyson fight did? Are you interested? Should Jake Paul be taking on more active professional boxers nowadays, not someone who has been retired for 4 or 5 years? I'm interested to know your opinions. Also, will this fight actually get made? Let me know in the comments. As always, like, favourite, save and a share, all appreciated. And if you want to be kept up to date with everything boxing, hit that follow button. Peace out.
Doubts still follow Jake Paul's fights, just like when he was set to face Mike Tyson and people said it was more for show than a real match. Now, his upcoming fight with Julio is getting the same kind of talk. Some fans think it's just a business deal pretending to be a real competition. Even though there's no proof, many point out how Jake often fights older or unusual opponents, which keeps the rumors going. Still, no matter what people say, this fight has caught the world's attention, and both fighters have their reputations at stake.
You can't make this shit up. Guys, Jake Paul fights this weekend at the same time as UFC 317. And don't be shocked, but it's another scam. This time it's against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who's 39 years old, hasn't fought in a year, and lost a boxing match to Anderson Silva, who's not even a fucking boxer and 50 years old. You guys have to know the drill by now. Take Jake Paul, minus 650, throw him in parlays, take him straight, lay the line, he's not losing. This shit's hilarious, a flat out joke, a disgrace, but free cash is free cash. I'm not watching a second of this fight. A second. I'm just gonna watch my bets turn green and get paid out. Do yourself a favor and get paid out too. Jake Paul, minus 650. Free as the air you breathe.
Jake Paul is coming into this fight full of confidence in his training and story. He sees it as a big moment where he can finally prove himself, but he also thinks it's a test for Julio to show where he stands in today's boxing world. Jake's strong belief in himself excites his fans and builds hype. One of his proudest wins is against Anderson Silva, a former MMA champion who once beat Julio. This gives Jake confidence, but boxing doesn't work like simple comparisons. Every fight depends on style, timing, and preparation. Still, the mental boost Jake gets from that win is important. Confidence can help performance, especially when both fighters know what's being said in the media. Whether that confidence turns into control in the ring is still uncertain.
What do you think about when you see some of these matches? Like they just said, didn't they just have Jake Paul was gonna fight
Tyson?
What do you think about that shit, man?
It's fucking crazy, isn't it?
It's fucking dumb, I think.
Like, well, what are you expecting? What do you think the outcome's gonna be?
Well, I think
because I thought that Jake Paul would have lost by now, even fighting these guys at some stage. But he keeps winning. Like I know that they're not like in their prime or whatever, but the whole background was fighting.
That's a good point.
And he keeps like somehow pulling it out. Like if he pulls this one out, I don't care how old Mike Tyson gets. I'm not even fighting that guy until he actually sat down on my show. He's fucking crazy.
Really?
Yeah. Like I felt I would not fight even if he's 70 years old. I'm not fighting him.
What, he just felt like he had that danger in him?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
well, I
God.
asked him, what would you be if you weren't a boxer? He said, a fucking criminal, like stone cold my eyes. And I'm like, okay, nice.
Jake's fight with Mike Tyson was more of a big event than a real challenge, since Tyson had been away from active boxing for a long time. That made things easier for Jake. But Julio is a much bigger threat. He's not only younger than Tyson, but also faster, more alert, and still used to the pace of real boxing matches.
Paul just went against Anderson Silva last night, and it was crazy. They was going back and forth, back and forth. In the 8th round, Jake Paul dropped Anderson Silva. It was a crazy back and forth war, but I feel that's what gave him the dub. Jake Paul walks away with the unanimous decision victory. The judges scored the scorecard 77-74, 78-73, and 78-73. Jake Paul advances to 6-0 in his professional boxing career. This was insane. He then goes on to call out Nate Diaz. What do you think is going to happen with that? It's crazy with this. Everybody and their mom was doubting Jake Paul back and forth. But now, when he beats Anderson Silva, what do you think he's going to do to Nate Diaz? No disrespect, but he's a much younger fighter. He's getting better every day, every night, and who knows? Might walk away with the W. Tune in next time.
Jake Paul's image continues to divide the boxing world. His fans enjoy the excitement and change he brings, but traditional boxing fans question if he's really serious. To them, his career feels more like a reality show than a true climb in the sport. Fighting Julio gives Jake a real chance to change that view. If he can prove himself against an experienced boxer, some critics might change their minds. But if the fight feels like another show instead of real competition, the doubts about him will only grow stronger. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and stay informed. Stay tuned for more updates, and let's keep our news accurate.